Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to the Esea Mountain Dew League. I am Darth Mike, your host and producer, and my co-host here is the man himself, Dean Brownie. And we're going to be bringing you all the action today, starting out with Havu taking on Spirit. What are you thinking we're going to see out of this one, Dean?
I am thinking we're going to see a close matchup. Honestly, I'm not too sure who's going to be able to take this victory. Both teams are pretty good on Dust 2. They've got victories against some good teams. Havu, especially recently, they've been playing really well on us. So maybe I would edge them out slightly. But I do think we're going to be seeing a very long game here. I think it'll be going up to maybe a 16-14 potentially in favor of us.
Okay, well, 16-14, that is definitely promising. I'm excited to see what we got. I've only seen Havu play Train, and admittedly, we were looking at their statistics. Every win they've had in the MDL so far has been a Train game. They have won 5 Train games every time they've played it so far. And we'll see how they are in Dust 2. You were saying in other leagues, their statistics have been super promising, so should be some fireworks here early on. It's going to be Dodo who gets the first contact. Players coming through onto this B bomb site. Blinded up, though, out in the open. Chopper is eventually going to take him down. And now locked out of B, this gets very tough. There's 2 players rotating in towards the tunnels itself, but Magix has the flank, and he is waiting for exactly this. He'll make some noise. It's actually Chopper who gets the kill, but they're going to push right back into tunnels to secure this and make sure there's no path through for the Havu side.
Yeah, Idis Balance catching that immediate push into the window as well, and actually going to go ahead and close it out. Zari goes down. That's Team Spirit picking up the opening pistol, doing so in a pretty convincing fashion as well. A nice setup, leaving that one player behind that tunnels to cut off the rotation, knowing that how quick they went in towards B, that anyone who may have aggressed over towards short or maybe even mid probably would pretty quickly come up through those lower tunnels. Havu, though, they don't want to give it away. They'll be going right back in for a force buy. A scout, a couple of deagles, or rather a few deagles, and then a CZ. A little bit of utility as well to back it up. I like sometimes seeing the double scout setup and then having 3 deagles because you can combine for just so much damage.
Oh yeah, that is nice. The tag 'em and bag 'em. Just you have the scouts open things up. Oh, especially on Dust too, it can be so effective. Now this gets tough, but Dodo just gonna hit the deag through the smoke. That's a nice way to get started here. Let's get a little frisky, especially with the nade then following through. These are 2 players who are very vulnerable to the scout at this point. Although Idis Bounce so far going to be the Scout King. Just gets a little tag out. There's definitely a chance to do something else here. The T's wisely take the gun with them as they exit tunnels. Like that little detail. Hide it in among the trash. Make sure no adventurous CTs can get their grubby little mitts on it. And now it seems like they've readjusted around towards A. And with Idis Bounce taking a quick kill with the Scout, that's going to be a very nice piece indeed. It's going to be the round 1. Dodo and Saw just looking for this gun and saying, well, where did they put it? They're trying to boost up. They're trying to find it. This is a treasure hunt. Let's see if they find it before the round expires. They're looking every which way. Do they check the trash? He found it.
There we go. Nice find by Saw. I guess you could say he saw it, man.
Oh, that's just a
Terrible
question whether he
buns.
survives.
Yeah, no, it's not actually looking too likely. Idis Balance is rocking up with his USP.
Oh.
Will just about finish him off. That was way too close. If
Way
they had
too
lost
close.
another player there, that would have been so much damage being done. Fortunately, they do retrieve the rifle, though, so able to keep 3 of their rifles, not too bad in terms of just losing a couple players, especially since in this round now, they should have a pretty easy chance of making it a lot cleaner.
So talk about dumpster diving. That was a good find. Didn't keep it, though.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't find an AK-47 in a dumpster over here, man.
Well, I mean, I live in the U.S., so sometimes things get a little weird. But, SDY just going to come right out long. Catch a quick 2-piece. This isn't a round where you expected much, but 2 quick kills, 10 seconds into the round. Going to take what little chance you had and lower it. Some Young is like, all right, Mir, your Idis Bounce, you just blocked my shot. I'll block your face.
He just kept shooting. Your man, he died, and he shot again anyway. It just looked like he didn't care.
It was,
that's weird.
yeah.
That's the only...
It was super strange because he stopped, and then he started again.
Without having moved his crosshair and without his teammate having moved. So, I don't know, maybe a bit of a misclick. Yeah, that was just strange. But right now, Havu going to be coming onto the buy. Overall, still a pretty clean round, rather, from Team Spirit. So I don't think they're going to be too upset, especially as Idis Balance is able to actually open things up. And with 4 players over towards tunnels, it's likely they just commit off the back of this. Going to be up to Slowy to try and actually slow this one down. Bit of damage being dealt initially. Smoke to try and keep himself alive, but Hoodie on the rotation already getting dropped. And it looks like this B-bomb site is going to fall quite soon unless Slowy pulls off a miracle. And it's just not going to happen. Oh, and that rotation again being cut off through tunnels. Right now, Team Spirit are playing this extremely well.
You'd think Havu would have caught on to the fact that there's definitely going to be a player watching that cross at this point. I mean, I don't know. There's not there wasn't a ton of utility to spare, but at this point in the game, if you're going to be crossing that angle on a retake towards B and you know they have 4 players up, you've got to be smoking it. Otherwise, you're just done for. Zori should be able to keep this op alive. It just depends on how much Zori is going to expose towards long. Might get caught off by Itis Balance, who is moving through. Definitely would like to take this gun. Oh, the play in towards Pit. There's no need for that. There's no need for that, Zori. Trying to get further away, and as a result, moves into the crosshair. So that's an op lost. That would have been a nice piece to try and get some pistols around in this round. And as it is, Havu just going to have to take probably a deco. Not a whole lot more available unless they want to force in. And being down 4-0 early on, this is not forced territory. Gotta get that.
Not really. Just that excess cash being spent. I may have jinxed it though when I said I was expecting a close game.
Right.
Because this is not a good start for Havu. Team Spirit, Itis Balance especially, just absolutely dominating right now. This long aggression getting shut down once again. The flash coming in, but not really blinding up anyone. So it was very easy for all the heads to just be taken off with that. Only Slowy remains. Maybe he can find a couple of kills. I mean, there is 4 players low, so he does kind of have an op in his hands. A quicker op if he's facing off against any of those 4.
Interestingly, to this point, my main concern is that it just seems like there's 2 plays that have come out from Spirit, right? It's an eco round, let's all push long because they're going to push long and we're just going to kill them all. We'll put more rifles than they have pistols. And that'll work out. And then the pacing's just not there for Havu. You've got to move as a sort of a death ball in that situation. Slowly will get 1, but now he's going to be baited into trying to get the gun. That's everything he's going to attempt to do, and I don't know that he knows that Itis Balance is here. Okay, he's a little bit wise to it. Now just trying to hit players on the cross. Might bleed a little bit of health, because as you did say, there were 4 players quite low. But you don't fancy his chances to get much of anything here. Maybe the rifle. It's down. Ooh.
There we go. 1 more. Yeah, maybe he can pick up the rifle and then have a chance to take out another couple of these players. Who knows? It could still definitely be possible for him to actually save a weapon. He's just going to have to hit some pretty nice shots and needs to be careful of that spawn flank as well. Walking into the crosshair Mirdo. That will be the end of him. Krieg, will it be retrieved? No, happy enough to stick on towards. Oh, it will in the end, actually. But yeah, one thing I have kind of noticed twice, of course, when they've gone for that eco and stacked it towards long with 4 players, 2 players have died each time before they actually throw in their flash. So
right.
I'm not sure what's up with that. Doesn't really make much sense.
Pacing is just not there. Spacing as well. That to me speaks to cracks in the team play, which is always super concerning. Just for the progression of a map. Obviously, 5-0 isn't ideal, but it's such early days. It's hard to draw too many conclusions. Some Die Young just hopping into the pit, though, sprinting out with his head down, a flash over to clear the path for him, and 2 quick kills. This has just been vaporized. Now you've got long control. You've got a player in towards the pit. You've got a double man advantage. It's about to be a third because Dodo is feeling the pressure. He's trying to take back control, and Magix is just waiting for this. They are playing Havu like a fiddle right now. They are making them dance to entirely the beat that Havu wants nothing to do with, and this has just been devastating. Zori might bring back a kill on Magix here, although I think Magix has already gotten under the crosshair, but this round is lost, almost certainly, and this is a double op investment. This is a serious buy. I mean, you're starting to get really concerned for Havu.
Yeah, to go back to your dancing analogy, I do have to say right now it's definitely not any beautiful dancing from Havu. It's more like a toddler just kind of bopping along to a beat. That's what it's like right now. They're not really getting much done. Again, a couple players dying before they were able to get their own flash in from the A-bomb site. I mean, this time the flash did go off just as the second player died, so it was a little bit earlier, but they still need to adjust that just a small bit more. They're having an easy headshot on the Zuri as well. One of those ops gone, and that doesn't give Slowy any options right now. It's just going to have to be the save once again. This is heartbreaking. Team Spirit are making this look so easy. Look at the economy as well. Havu, not only do they have to pick up a round to get back into this, they're going to have to take 3 or 4 in a row if they want any chance of breaking the economy. And then the issue is by that point, the loss bonus will have actually built up for Team Spirit.
Yeah.
So they're in a bit of a jam right now.
They're pretty much in the situation of infinite buys. I mean, just looking at the deaths on Spirit, there are still 3 players who have died exactly once now that we're seeing this 6th round expire. You've got 2 players on 3 deaths and 3 on 1. That's just not enough of a fragging output to really make this look even remotely close. And they're hunting, so it's not like they're being super cautious about it. They've been losing bodies in the hunt. I would say, honestly, most of their kills have come when they're hunting. As we see right now, Slowy will get 1, but he's being flanked out. Does he survive? Does he manage to stay alive here? No! Magic sprays it, and he was sticking out and will die. So that op is traded out. Perfect exchange for Spirit. They lose only 1 body, so that economy is just continuing to swell, as you were talking about. And meanwhile, there's deagles. Again, there's pistols. Let's see. Are they going to go for the same push long strat and the same massacre from the Team Spirit side? It certainly looks like it. A mist-thrown smoke going to make that all a bit more difficult. Molly's down will at least secure long for the moment. So they can't quite contest this. Idis Bounce has to fade away, and fortunately for him, there's no one really close enough to punish him or do any real damage. So they'll just reset, get out of there, and Spirit will readjust based on what they want to do here.
Yeah, they could still try and go back for that long control later on if they wanted, or else, of course, try and take the short control as well. Be always an option, and right now that is looking like the favored position. Oh, the rotation trying to come in across mid. I'm not too sure what the plan was for Zari right there. Anyone could be up close on the doors, or, of course, an op could be sitting back like it was. Very easy kill. Flash going to be going through the doors. There is a player up close who I believe should be blinded. For the moment, though, they don't really want to put the pressure on Saw. They don't want to give him those close-range fights like he hopes for on the pistol. Slowy, though, in the meantime, has rotated in on the scout, so he may have a bit of an opportunity to maybe deal some damage.
Oh, Mir nearly gets caught out there. Thought for sure Saw had that. But it's just going to be damage done, and now you're again in a situation where two players are down for Havu. They are limping along. The only thing they have going for them is that Mir is susceptible to the scout, but they've just lost their only B player. At this point, Spirit could just rotate off and take B for free. But they're going to go ahead and press in towards A, because why not? I mean, at this point, why not? They can really do no wrong here. They're just rolling right through. Maybe Slowy catches a pick with a scout. He will indeed do so, and it was one of the high health players. Now, this is a chance. If they continue to contest, the second player down, this is getting a little bit awkward. There's a chance here, but it's a chance that is not going to be capitalized on. There are too many crosshairs trained on the one position for Slowy to continue to peek into it, so he drops. And that was the closest round we've had in a long time. Dean, a long time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some closer rounds now. When you say it's the closest round we've had in a long time, I think it probably is the closest round we've had so far in this game. So I do hope that they'll be able to step it up a little bit now over on that Havu side. Double up setup again going to be coming into play between Zari and Slowy. Both very capable players, but so far neither of them have really got it rolling. Slowy right now, I think he knows he does have a player trapped in on that right side. Going to be holding for the peak, and it's the headshot just to be sure. But unfortunately, trying to double dip, he does end up going down to the op, or rather to the Krieg. And it's Magic's over on long, who manages to catch Hoodie, actually trying to creep around that smoke. So what did start off pretty well here for Havu, instantly being pulled back in favor of Team Spirit. And they can just go ahead and slow things down now, because it's Havu again who have the pressure on their shoulders to try and make a play happen.
So much over-aggression. So much over-aggression. You know they're playing fast out to their initial angles. You know that Spirit... Basically what Spirit's trying to do is they're trying to get really fast into their first fight. And then they're getting those picks. Yes, especially on long. And then they fall off. And so
Hoodie going aggressive on his own was strange.
Yeah. You say strange. I say stupid. Just straight up.
Yeah.
Why?
I normally say interesting when I mean stupid. I was like, that was an interesting round.
Oh, I feel like we're 7-0. We're about to climb to 8-0. Oh, the niceties are starting to wane. There's only one player you can even think about contesting towards long at this point. If they throw the cross smokes, Zori is going to be completely isolated from the action. Saw is just trying to flash his way back into something, make a little bit of noise. Molly and Car, that's an interesting one. I think trying to feint that there's more people here than there are, and will catch a kill to be fair, but immediately traded is going to make this awkward. The two ops have gotten close, but you're attempting a retake with a double op where your economy is just complete dog. At this point, strongly need to consider getting out of there, even though it is such a desperate situation. I just bounced, though. Oh, no. Blindside shot, and Dodo just misses it. He had I just bounced dead to rights. The man hadn't even moved. That was a perfect lineup, the perfect opportunity to get an easy kill, secure long control, and then be able to do a 2v2 on towards the site, and he just misses. That is inexcusable. Complete easy shot, panicked a little bit, and misses. And then I just bounced, gets the final kill of the round, of course. You cannot miss those opportunities. You can't.
Nah, I feel like Havu right now may be a little bit tilted, perhaps somewhat out of their comfort zone, and that's really surprised me. As I said, their previous results on Dust 2, especially lately, have been really strong against teams that you would put up there alongside the Team Spirits. So it's interesting. Again, this long control attempting to come in from the CT side, the smoke going down to give them the ability to finally cross over to the pit. And they do pick up the opening frags. Saw that UMP going to be spamming through. They do have an idea that there's a second player here. They definitely will now. That's actually the bomb being dropped. But of course, the weapons still favoring this T side, so Havu, it's still going to be difficult for them to try and hold this one down. And as you can see, Idis Balance beginning to pull this one back, gets the second on Saw, and only having pistols now on the remaining players, it's back firmly in the hands of Team Spirit.
I think this was the round where we finally saw what Havu wanted to do towards long work out. Problem is, you still got Idis Bounce, and Idis Bounce is just so good. I think he's up to 14 kills at this point through 9 rounds, which is just filthy. He's not missing much, and when you have that kind of an opper, one he's got only one. Wow.
Yeah. The only thing
Okay.
he's disbalancing is the scoreboard, man.
He really is. I don't know what you do in that situation. He's the Iron Man. You cannot kill him. Dodo has been spotted. He's almost certainly going to be the next to die. It's all going to be on Dodo. It's going to be a bomb planted. If they want it, they don't even bother with it. They don't even need the extra money. They've got 2 players on 16k who survived. I don't know what to say. You've got 2 players on the Havu side who have 1 kill apiece. You've got a player who has only died once on the Spirit side. This is... To me, it seems like Spirit did their homework a little bit on Havu. As you said, Havu, this is one of their best maps, or this has been one of their best maps. And I think Spirit recognized that and maybe watched a couple of demos and knows exactly what the tricks are that Havu wants to do, because they're reading the pressure from Havu really well. The places where they're trying to get aggressive, the ways they're trying to lurk out, and they're winning those pick battles immediately and then just playing the advantage super well. So Spirit, impressive. But Havu, now that they've been read in a couple of ways, they just seem like they're floundering completely.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking desperate. They've still got 2 players on 1 frag. So that's Zori, well, 1 frag rather. It's not plural because unfortunately they haven't hit that yet. I mean, normally you'd be hoping to be around double digits at this point, or at least approaching on it. I mean, they haven't even got off 1. That is not the play that you want to actually see from these players, especially Zori. You expect a lot more from him. So it's definitely disappointing. I mean, the opportunity again here in this round for maybe Havu to get something done. They have the op. They've gone to just 1 this time around. And also utility-wise, with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining, they really don't have all that much to work with. And also no defuse kit if it comes down to a retake. And considering Team Spirit so far have been brute forcing their way onto those bomb sites and doing so in such amazing fashion, I mean, the bomb going down is pretty likely.
This is a decent hold. It's a decent setup. You've got the player out towards car. Zori is going to have to hit the first shot. That's really what they need to see. Obviously, that's been a lacking point for them, is just sort of early pick frag output. But this is the point where they need Zori to step up. There's going to be a run boost coming through. SDY has been boosted up. Never mind. It was just over the smoke, and Saw played into it perfectly. So now Zori is left without the support. That pick comes through. There's no reason to commit off of it. There's still 40 seconds. They can let the smoke expire. They're eventually going to come for a burst out of Catwalk, and seeing no presence towards Long Slowy is going to come into support, which is a good read. But again, we've just seen, even in even number situations, Spirit have been coming out on top. Now you've got a massive dominant force. But Slowy making a really bold play, just standing in the smoke, is eventually going to come through. It's all going to be about timing about this. And there we go. There's the first. That's the bomb as well. Trying to clear Catwalk, can't do it. Only 1 to be found, and Zori out of the action as well. It's going to be left to Hoodie to hold on. Can't do so. Dodo all alone and quickly going to be dispatched. So that is a good attempt from Havu. I like the idea. I like Slowy hiding in the smoke. That was a really tricky play. You need some sort of tricky Hail Mary type play to get something done there. But the fact that he only gets 1 out of that position and immediately gets traded out, just not enough. Not enough juice to really make a meal.
Nah, I mean, there's not even crumbs right now for Havu. Not being able to find a single thing in this game so far. Slowy getting aggressive at mid. Will catch Magic's off guard, so that's not too bad. Finding an opening kill for themselves. The issue is, of course, it was traded back elsewhere. As always, it's Idis balance on the op. Now a 17-1. Let's have a look at that ADR, actually. 159 right now, as we're on round 11.
Ooh.
Sorry, catching some of that young and Tunnels. Not sure he was able to win that fight out with the MP9, to be honest. Went on for a very long time. Mir not able to find the trade, so a man advantage will actually go in favor of Havu. Will they be able to capitalize on this one and turn it into a round win finally is the question. It looks like it will be B where they get tested, and that is going to be Zori and Dodo to try and actually hold it down. The scout deals out a bit of damage, but nothing else. It is going to be opened up pretty quickly to B-bomb site. There for the taken, Team Spirit. Of course, they are going to go forward and get that bomb planted any second now. And I mean, Hoodie and Slowy, there's not much opportunity. Maybe if they could retrieve some weapons, that would be nice. But even then, at this point, saving, it just doesn't seem like it's going to do too much good for them, considering they are down 10-0, about to be 11-0.
You know, there's already
16-0 today, man. This could be another.
I was
I'm
actually
gonna
just
jinx
about to
it
say
just to give a chance. Yeah, I'm jinxing it just to give Havu a chance to maybe pick up a round. This could be it, actually, because Mir in the back corner is struggling a little bit. Eventually just pops up and takes them both. But his teammates were falling all around them, so a good job to recover. Whew.
Oof.
You could say the team spirit is high right now.
It is. Not for the other side, though. The Spirit has been absolutely crushed. We were talking about ADR. I mean, 162. Idis Bounce has just added more. You've got 3 players above 100 ADR. That's tough to contend with. Tons of effective flashes as well. I think that's almost more impressive. I think everybody's above double digits in effective flashes. So that just speaks to the fact that Spirit is playing very well as a unit and using their utility effectively to bully as well, not just hitting the shots. I just bounced down to 1 health. Might be a vulnerability here. But as we've seen, he seems to have an uncanny ability to just dodge bullets and get his shot out first. So with the AWP, it may not be too much of an impediment. It will remain to be seen. Hoodie has at least long control here. An aggressive long control, so he knows nobody's coming. That's information for his teammates. The question is, can they capitalize?
It looks like he may think about going aggressive eventually. If they do see Team Spirit pressuring over towards the middle, especially with him being alone on that side of the map, because they also don't really have that short control, so they kind of would be actually relying on keeping that control for themselves. Chopper right now going to be taken short. Molotov goes down. They are actually now looking to take it on the Havu side, I think, realizing that they ideally want to keep control of both sides of this right now, because so far Team Spirit, even when they're just pushing in from one position, have been so effective with the trades. Small bit of damage onto Mirror, and I think at this point, Team Spirit may want to consider something else, and that looks like it is going to be the case. Going to try and bring it in towards mid for a B-split instead. Havu are just using their utility really well in this round. This is the best we've seen from them so far.
Absolutely. And this is the difference maker on the CT side, is when you actually have some utility to play with, you can play entirely differently. So they use the Molotovs incredibly effectively. Now it's down to 19 seconds. This hit has to come through. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. Zori can hit 1, and Slowly can follow it up. This round is lost. It's going to happen. We're not going to have the 16-0. Finally, on the 12th round, this late in, they're going to get a little something for Havu, for the Finns. They will steal away 1. Well, not really steal away. They actually won this dominantly, and again, that utility usage was the key difference. So keeping 4 alive is important, because now you can rebuy up all that utility. Only Hoodie is going to need to be replenished in terms of weaponry, and you're going to be in a pretty good situation if they can maintain that pacing again. And Spirit, I think, is going to have to mix things up. They allowed it to go too long before those Molotovs were forced out from the CT side, so then they were funneled into one particular take just because there was so little left on the clock. So now, what's the response? It's a rush. Straight up. They're just going for it. Straight through. Smoke down. Slowy will find 1, 2. Make it 4. Slowy just going to kill absolutely everybody as they come out the tunnels and straight into a massacre. SDY, all that's left. So the tempo changer not working out. And Havu suddenly looking like an entirely different team here.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday when I was covering the Champions Cup, Banks on the desk was mentioning how the momentum here on Dust 2 can be very difficult to stop. But once you do stop it, you have the opportunity to get that rolling yourself. If Havu can bring it back to 4 rounds, if they can get the pistol on the second half, they can definitely fight back into this game. And there's the ace for Slowy. I mean, he's stepping it up now. That could be a momentum changer for Havu. He could put confidence not only in himself, but in his teammates as well. So I do hope that's going to be the case, because I said I expected a competitive game between these two, and it certainly hasn't been that. It's been a little bit flat so far. Havu shown a couple signs of life here towards the end of the first half, though.
It is definitely inspiring. Just to get a little bit more fragging output here. Dodu's still struggling, but the team as a whole have woken back up in a big way. Now the utility's going to be out, but it's aggressive long control. And look at Chopper's spot. He goes through the smoke. He finds 1. Immediately traded, though. That's a good response from Havu. They had to avoid that position being turned against them. And this time they will win the aggressive long battle. So this is a big change of pace. The things that were working in earlier rounds for Spirit are getting locked out now. You see Slowy pushed all the way in towards long. Zori can take an aggressive pick in towards mid and find that. Now you've just got Magix and Mir completely isolated, while Mir will find a kill. If Magix finds this out towards the tunnels, or out of the tunnels rather, there might be an opportunity to go through, but he's just sitting in the smoke, and now he's lost his teammate. He's lost control of the bomb. He's almost certainly lost the round. Spirit just going to look to do some sort of damage. If he finds 1 to 2 more kills, he can limit them going forward. But Dodo is going to play Pop Goes the Weasel and smash his head.
3 in a row. I mean, it looks like a completely different team over these past few rounds. Can they keep this up? I mean, the economy still hasn't been completely run down for Team Spirit coming into the final round, so they will be able to pull out a buy. But as we had said, they were in a position no matter what where they were going to be buying up for the rest of the half. So yeah, that's kind of to be expected. Can Havu take themselves another gun round? I mean, they're beginning to show us that maybe they are a bit more capable than we seen early on. Perhaps it was just a bit of a slow start. Maybe they needed some time to warm up. And look at this aggression right now coming through the lower tunnels. It's Zori on the AWP. decides to actually stick around. That's a dangerous approach, especially with Chopper up close on the box and a second one following. But he's actually able to take down another before eventually being dropped by Sumdai Young. So a man advantage does remain in favor of Havu. Sumdai Young not expecting a second player up close here on the doors. But aggression again on long. I mean, I don't know what Havu are doing. They have the man advantage. It's not really needed. Again, peeking out through mid. Idis Balance able to find Hoodie. They're trying to hold down the bomb right now, but this could be dangerous. Idis Balance jumps in for the no-scope. Saw finds the trade, but he's up against Magix now. Knows that he was towards top mid. Holding those long doors initially. Hoping he's going to come out from the barrels. Actually trades back over to the rifle now and should spot the head towards Suicide. Tapping away. It's an awkward fight, but he eventually wins it out. Havu taking 4 at the half. The final one of them being a little bit iffy. Idis Balance, of course, he was the one that was able to pull it back into a redeemable position. But in the end, Havu do take it. 4 in a row. As I said, if they pick up this pistol, Havu can definitely do this.
That last round was so messy. As you said, just unnecessary aggression from the Havu side, but it was being met by Spirit as well, so that was just crazy. I mean, jumping into lower tunnels for a no-scope op shot is not something you see every day. Still, the 1v1, perhaps the most effective way to end that half. Nice little microcosm of what we've seen in terms of the hyper-aggressive play in the initial phases. This is going to be tough for sure for Havu, but as you said, the 4 rounds, momentum building, there's a chance. This is looking like a very different team from what we saw through the first 11 rounds, and it really was just like I would say round number 12 and round number 13 were just complete resets, because they did the same thing. They took the same fights, but whatever it was, they figured out the tempo on what Spirit was attempting to do and just shut them out. And from that point on, it was like, oh, they're vulnerable. They bleed. We can do this. We can fight them. We can win these rounds. We can win these games. So hopefully that little bit of confidence, that little bit of inspiration, and maybe that feel for the way Spirit's playing might give Havu a shout in the second half. But my concern is, based on how much Spirit seemed to be countering what Havu wanted to do on the CT side, I think they might have a good read on what Havu's going to do here for the Ts and be able to hard counter. And if they do that, there's not going to be another 11 rounds to adjust for Havu. They've got to figure it out right away.
Yeah, I do want to point out, for example, recently when Havu played versus Heretics and beat them here on Dust 2, they actually didn't do too great on their CT side and got 12 T rounds, so it's definitely possible. Overall, their statistics for Dust 2 show that they're pretty much exactly 50-50 between T and CT rounds, but recently, at least in some games, it does seem like their T side has been a little bit better, or at least that they're more than capable of being able to pull off those comebacks, so there's always the opportunity. Right now, a couple players picking up utility for Havu. That's going to be Saw and Slowy. They do have a Molotov, a couple of smokes, and then a flash. And then on the CT side, pretty standard, just one player picking up the fuse kit alongside a couple of flashes as well. It looks like Havu right now going to be a little bit focused over towards middle. They do have one player holding for any long aggression that may come in. So if they wanted, they could still try and get that short control, maybe split on towards A eventually. But it seems like B going to be the most likely approach right now. Looking to maybe try and move forward on that mid control soon.
There's really only Magics to contest if they want to go for mid. There's a player out towards the car who can take the long shots with the USP as well, but there are 2 smokes available for Saw and Slowy to try and make a little bit of inroads. And that is going to be mid completely taken. Double smoke in towards the mid cross. A little interesting there to commit both smokes to this angle, but they are convinced that that's what they need to cover off, and it's going to be the crunch in towards B. Good trade early on. Idis Bounce going to be dug out of the back of the site as well. That's a bomb plant, and as we know, when this B bomb site goes, it is so hard to get back in as the CTs, especially when you don't have much in terms of utility. And look at this flank from Dodo. I don't know if he's been heard. He's going to go around the long way to make sure his drop down isn't heard. And now Chopper is dead to rights. There we go. A little bit awkward there, Dodo. Had some time. Eventually he gets it. That's all that matters. I think this is a save.
Yeah, I mean, maybe having a fuse kit and a couple of flashes could be very handy in this next round if they do plan on buying up. I'll have him being tagged. He'll be able to get the head armor pretty cheap. So I would say it's worthwhile, yeah. It looks like they're probably going to be able to save as well. One player actually coming through the tunnels now, so could get a little bit dicey. I'd imagine he'll go lower tunnels, though, since his teammates have cleared out mid. Or maybe he's worth risking it. Yeah, I mean, only having the USP himself, he doesn't really have a lot to lose, so he will look to see what he can find. It's taken down an extra $300 from Mir. And I mean, if he wanted, he could buy a FAMAS right now if he didn't want to go for the head armor. Let's see overall, are they willing to force buy in? I'd imagine they will if they save the Kevlar and also the flashes. At least a couple pistols should be bought up.
I don't know, though. You've got the other side of it, which says you've got a 6-round cushion at this point. Try and get those guns up perfectly. So we're going to see Mir buy a smoke, but that is literally it. It's just a smoke for the cross to hide the fact that they're moving 5 players towards long. It's basically to send out a little feint that there's some presence towards B. And meanwhile, they take long. Unfortunately for them, Havu haven't taken the bait. It's just Slowy over here, who's going to give them a Mac 10, but he exchanges it for 1 kill. Bomb is planted. Meanwhile, B is taken. Super forward positioning can be had for Havu. And they're going to send this Mac 10 out to hunt. So a nice response from Havu. I don't know whether that was a read or whether that was dumb luck, but either way, they perfectly feint around and avoid the bulk of the team spirit eco and just really get away with a free round.
Yeah, just well played right there from Havu. Going into the buy, though, I would have preferred if Magic picked up the smoke since they had the same money. Him and Mir had the same money, and then Mir could have just got a P250 because he had the Kevlar saved over. At that point, you may as well buy a cheap pistol because, I mean, a P250 and Kevlar can get a lot of damage done. Still found one with the USP either way and stole away a Mac 10, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. But let's see. Havu surprisingly hunting somewhat. They definitely shouldn't really be going for this. There's not a lot for them to gain. Sawdo on the UMP, I mean, not lots for him to lose either. He has the opportunity to build up some money. Gets one, as does Doto, before they go down. As long as they keep the rifle safe, then that's not really a big deal. 11-6 now. That's 6 rounds in a row for Havu, of course, because they were down 11-0. So they're definitely beginning to pick up some momentum. The question is now, coming into the first gun round here on G side, if they do, then that's when I really start believing that this is going to be a close.
So it looks like some early pressure is going to be on towards B. A little bit of utility exchange in towards the tunnels, but not a lot to show for it. They're hoping to get a free pick through the smoke. Nothing being given over yet. That nade, a little bit of dust up damage onto Doto. Nothing extreme as of yet. Their most aggressive positioning is Zori in towards mid, who is out the mid doors and just waiting for somebody to make a play, hoping that Zori can punish. It is Chopper who's watching this fairly passively. Meanwhile, the CT response is that they've got pretty firm long control. 2 players pushed out to this position just to hold on to it. And now Slowy making some noise towards Cat. This is trying to elicit a response. This is trying to bait something. Because they haven't committed quite towards either side, but it seems like B is the ultimate object of their affections. And this is actually quite well done, because there's still 2 players in towards site, and there's a fast potential rotate from Chopper. He's going to go through the smoke. Really bold play. Chopper finds one. He's looking for more. Going to eventually have it, and this is a cleanup. Beautifully done. Well read on the pressure, using basically the utility placement from the Havu side to predict where they're going to be coming through, and then just timing it. And that is nicely done. Dodo will find one. He's looking for some more, but not sure he's going to get much of a shot. And it's not, indeed. Magic's going to take him down. That will be a 12-6. Spirit now back onto a round as soon as the rifles come out. And that's nicely done.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep that up. Of course, the economy for the T side not being too great, but they are going to buy up considering a couple of players looking at a double eco. Able to get 3 rifles in. That's not too bad. I mean, a Krieg, 2 AKs, 2 Deagles. Here on Dust 2, the Deagles can still be very dangerous. They have a bit of utility, at least the basics to work with in order to get that initial map control. Let's see how it's going to go for them to spam up through short, connects a small bit of damage onto Slowy. But right now, all 5 players actually making their way up for Havu. It looks like it's going to be a really quick round. The Deagles leading this charge will be fighting up against Idis Balance, and you know that that's going to be a tough exchange for them indeed. Up close, the headshot coming in above the box. A second as well being taken. Idis Balance, he's hungry for more, and he continues to frag. Eventually, they will be able to take him down, but it's a little bit too late. And with 2 more players on long, they're able to clean up the scraps. 13-6, Team Spirit taking a couple of rounds in a row, and at this point, the eco will have to come in from Havu. At that point, down 14-6, their T-side will need to be flawless.
That last shot I almost thought was going to be a collateral from Idis Balance. Looked like he had them lined up. He has been fantastic this game. I mean, he's above a 3-to-1 kill to death ratio. His ADR is obscene. He's 24, 6, and 7 right now.
44 ADR, man. That's ridiculous.
Well, that's since the half switch, right? ADR does reset on the half on these scoreboards. But he was at 160 ADR at one point in the first half, so it's not like that pace has exactly changed half to half. He is absurd. Looking for more.
Might have a chance to farm a bit more here against pistols.
Looks like it's going to be Chopper instead to get the face. There's a lot of players coming his way. He has to be careful not to give up anything for free, but the drop down is going to be pressure. He allows them in towards CT, and Idis Bounce loses his life as a result. Fortunately for him, there's not going to be a whole lot more, but Hoodie does have an op, and they have to be careful about the timing. They'll be able to pressure from both sides. He was definitely dead. It was just a question of whether he could get one more kill, and the answer is a firm no. So it is 14-6 here. You need 8 rounds in a row to bring this back to a tied scoreline, and if you slip up once, that's match point.
Exactly. Near flawless it needs to be. Otherwise, the best they'll be able to do if they do lose one round, as you said, will be overtime. And I mean, when you're down 15-6, it's not too likely you'll be able to pull back 9 rounds. And if they do lose this one, Havu without a bomb plant especially will be on a very weak point in the next round as well. To say that though, Slowy will be able to open things up over towards Long. Unfortunately, the Molotov's going down, able to separate him from his teammate to allow for no trades to actually come back in for Havu once he does fall. So 1-for-1 initially. Havu not going to be too upset being on the T side, of course. It probably does favor them slightly. Team Spirit going to have to maybe take some gambles in terms of where they're covering. Oh, Sumda Young might get caught off guard completely here on B. Indeed, perfect timing for Havu as they come through, catching him trying to flash in towards middle. A man advantage now going for Havu and control of his B-bomb site as well. Yeah, I was about to say, definitely should be considering it. And with the money that they have available, Chopper and Magix will be able to drop rifles, so Team Spirit would be coming straight back onto a strong buy.
That was just a question of they decided to gamble. The pick was, we're going to flash you in for a mid-peak. Problem is, the player throwing the flash is now turning away from tunnels, and that completely negates any possibility he can do anything in the round. So, good timing for Havu. Really unfortunate timing for SDY. But a correct call to save here. I like this. I like this conservative call. Because sometimes when you give up that kind of a kill where you're like, oh, if I'd only been looking the right direction, it's a temptation to try and steal back that round because you know you shouldn't have necessarily given it up in that manner. But they're conservative. They make the right call. They say, you know what? Live to fight another day. Next time we won't make the mistake. And again, 8-round cushion. They've got so much time to work with here, Dean. They have so many rounds. They just need 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do think it could probably be beneficial for Sumda Young to learn a flash that doesn't expose him to tunnels, though, for mid. Maybe just from in behind the boxes or something on the bomb site. I would imagine it's definitely possible. Yeah, probably was just a bit urgent there with being called for from his teammates. So just unfortunate. I mean, the timing, as we said, going a little bit unlucky for him. Let's see now, the buy still available for Team Spirit. Yeah, as you said, a double up setup. The second one on Mir as well. Definitely a capable player in terms of the individual skill. He has got a lot, and that would show us that he's definitely capable on the AWP. Let's see. I mean, Mir and the Idis balance, that could be difficult for Havu to deal with right now, especially not having an op of their own.
I think what this allows as well is allows Idis Bounce a little bit more freedom to kind of get aggressive here. Trying to inch forward a little bit and find something. Interestingly, Idis Bounce and Mira, I just noticed, have pretty much 2 variations of the same character in their pictures. So maybe that's the Opera Screedo for this team, is their little samurai-esque character they've got there. This is a deep analysis you come here for, folks.
Yeah, do all their pictures represent them, though? That's the question. Magix is like, what, an anime girl or something? Chopper's like 2 animals fighting himself or something like that. Man advantage, though, for Havu. One of the players already been dropped. That was Chopper, the man I was mentioning, so he's not putting up much of a fight this time around. Didn't unfortunately connect much damage either, and then the aggression from Magix on Long getting cut off. This is looking awkward. It's Idis balance, I mean, to still defend the bomb site, so you can't give up all hope. Finds that first on Long and allows for himself now to just focus on one angle. Zori is too quick with the Krieg. A 2-man advantage being found, and again, the save will just have to be called for. Not much real hope here for the remaining 2 Spirit players.
That was such a shot out from Zori. I thought for sure Idis Bounce was going to take at least the first pick there. Generally, you'll see an Arbor take a pick, fall back, maybe find a second. That's a really strong angle to play with the AWP, but that's the magic of the Krieg. You can just fly into the angle, find a pick. Now Zori gets to pick up the AWP himself and fade away with it. Might just find something on the hunt here. They are trying to crunch in, and there's the spot. Slowy shouldn't necessarily be able to take this frag, though. Mir going to be holding them back. So these 2 rifles, I think, very much likely survive unless they take a very ill-advised peek back out. And we are going to see Havu climb to 8. So they're making this at least look respectable, substantially more respectable than we initially thought it was going to be. And that last pick coming through from Saw is actually perfect. Takes the op out of their hands, means only SDY is surviving with the Krieg, and there's just not a lot to build around as a result. Maybe that one rifle gets a multi-kill, but otherwise this round is kind of a gimme for Havu.
Yeah, not even expecting them really to be able to buy up anything. Idis Balance having the most money by far, but he wants to keep that to try and get the op out into the upcoming gun round. They do have a pause in, though, so a bit of a discussion, I suppose, being had by Team Spirit. Maybe they can throw something into the works. Mir has a smoke. As you said, Sumda Young has that Krieg. Perhaps they can work around that, get aggressive somewhere, send the pistols out first. Maybe to act as a bit of a distraction. Maybe even a short boost could work. Let's see what the plan is going to be, because, of course, we are ready to hop back on into the action. The up in the hands of Zori. He's been stepping up, as has Slowy, of course. I mean, he's slowed down definitely here on the second half, but that's kind of good to see that he's not needed as much, and then Havu are still able to actually compete and get rounds, because of course the 4 that they got towards the end of that first half, Slowy was definitely very important in every single one of them. Right now, the short aggression did come in. They're just leaving one player back on the A-bomb site to spot for info, and I think at this point they should realize they've actually lost that long control.
SDY turns the Krieg into 1. He's looking for some more as well. There's the pistol actually going to take the first fight. SDY can definitely get back through, but Flash is going to make life difficult. Now Molotov should seal off the angle. The USP's still asking some questions here, and the Gandalf spot going to be decent for Chopper. Just has to find the timing on this. They will start the plant, and that might prompt Chopper to peek around. SDY distracting all of the focus here. It's just a question of when does Chopper choose to strike. Smoke going down. The time becoming critical here. Now it's just a question, I think, of whether Mir can make some noise. And again, they're just trying to distract from this position, but Dodo's aware of it. Dodo's onto it. And now as soon as they've spotted it once, this round should be just about over. That's about all you can expect out of the Gandalf spot. SDY going to continue to let some blood with this one Krieg, though. Might be worth saving through, but they're so very low, it's got to be tempting for him to take the fight. He is going to go ahead and slip away. That scoped rifle just so powerful on the CT side. He will get 4 kills for his team, 3 on his own gun butt. But it is going to be a round 1 for Havu, and the op surviving as well, most critically.
Yeah, it's still looking like they maybe can do this one. I mean, if they didn't have such a slow start in this game right now, I feel like they probably would have already won it. Just losing control of the economy early on that CT side, they kind of spiraled out of control. They definitely are capable here on this too, though, and they've shown us that rather, especially since swapping to the T side. Let's see what the plan is at the moment. Just a pretty standard default seemingly coming in from them on the T side. A couple players around lower tunnels probably going to try and get that short control, even one to hold the long aggression, and of course having the up towards top mid. From the CT side, it looks pretty standard as well. Getting one player up close on long initially, leaving the up for Midas Balance to support, and then rotating one player back around to kind of spot mid, and then allowing for the 2 on the B-bomb site. So nothing really too wild coming out from Team Spirit. Playing is pretty standard.
Linchpin here again is going to be Midas Balance, as it has been in many rounds. He's slowed down a little bit in terms of pace. Now only on a mere 87 ADR in the second half. So quite a slowing considering how aggressive his pace was early on. But he's going to be looking for some presence here. There's a player who drops down in towards CT, but the response here from Chopper as he gets out the mid doors. Problem is, there are now players jumping on towards his head, so this is going to be left to SDY. This pressure is coming towards B, and the Molotov might just spread enough to push him out. But they haven't committed. Now there's a player top mid. This is getting so very awkward. Spirit have moved all sorts of aggression around, and now the op catches a pick, but the result of this long aggression is that nobody whatsoever is on the site. So they're going to be able to plant, they're going to have control of Catwalk, and there's going to be 2 players attempting this retake, Mir and Midas Bounce, and neither of them able to get over to Cat in time. No kits available either, so if they want to go for this, they've got to go for this right now. Otherwise, they might as well just go ahead and save.
I don't even know if it's worth it, but I mean, Midas Balance looking confident, like he believes in them being able to pick this one up. Does drop Saw, but Zori immediately peeking back in with his own AWP for the trade, and at this point, Mirror, there's probably not a lot that he can do about, as you said, having no defuse, getting the bomb already taken away. Still going for it. Slowly looking to peek down, gets his head ripped off. Okay, only Zori now remain, and if he can take the op out as well, that's some great damage. Unfortunately, not going to be able to win the round, but he'll retrieve the op over on long. So that is a pretty good recovery. I mean, I don't know if it would have been better for him and Midas Balance to just save immediately, because then they could have dropped over 2 rifles and probably had a pretty good buy in this round. But in the end, doing some good damage to the economy of Havu, been able to keep the op either way. But let's see, the damage actually does do quite a lot of impact after the reinvestment. There's not much money at all left for Havu. So if they lose this round right now, it could be all over.
It would definitely be an awkward situation, but still, again, we said they had to be pretty much flawless. They had to be next to flawless, and Havu so far have done it. This is what, 4 rounds in a row now since the 14th round was hit.
Yeah, because it was 11-6 at one point, and then we seen a few rounds come in for Team Spirit, and then Havu have come back with their 4 now. So yeah, I mean, other than a couple of moments here on this T side, they have been in full control, and in this round having the advantage in terms of the buy. There's the op for Midas Balance and MP9, and then some pistols as well for them to work with. So it's not like it's completely out of realms here that Team Spirit maybe could upset in this round. Let's see if that's going to be the case. One player pushed up on top mid, and I don't think anyone's watching this exact position right now. As I said, at Doto towards suicide, maybe he could chime in pretty soon if it's needed. But let's see, the long control already coming in. A potential for a quick flank if they don't actually clear top mid. This could be dangerous. And they're already stacking the A-bomb site as well. They know what's going on.
He's withdrawing, though. Doesn't want to go for the flank. Doesn't want to cap them in, which is an interesting decision there. I think he didn't want to tip off the information that the CT side had. Wanted to bait them in to everybody coming through this angle. So now you've got Idis bounce with the op. You've got a million pistols on. The problem is they're all being wiped away, and there's just not much to show for it. Mir will get 1 kill with the MP9, and that's a little bit of extra cash built up as well. But Idis bounce is mollied out of position, and while he will get one other frag, he is quickly dealt with. And with 3 players alive, a bomb plant coming through, everything they could possibly want to pick up off of the bodies, Havu is going to be just okay. They've weathered the storm. That was the breaker round. If they had lost it, it would have likely been all over, but they stay afloat. They withstand it. And now you've got Spirit in a situation where they are going to buy up. They're going to go back to the double op, but this is no longer an unassailable lead. You've only got 3 rounds. You're going to fight for this one. If you lose it, you're going to be on another eco, and then all of a sudden we're talking about a tied ball game. It is going to be Idis bounce, though, to take the first pick, now showing his fine form a little bit more. Taking out Zori as well, who has been a big presence for them. And aggression again in towards mid. He will get traded, but still, 2 for 1. Idis bounce knew he had to take this round in hand and is doing exactly that. Now the second op chimes in. This is what Spirit wanted to do. It's taken them a while to get to this point, but they had enough of a lead to allow for it. And now you see Saw and Slowy in a situation where they have to recover, where it's desperation hours. Otherwise, all this attempt, all this comeback, all this fight to get back into the map is going to be for naught.
Yeah, that's the issue with having a poor first half. You can fight back in, but sometimes you do fall short. This is not definitely that case. I mean, Havu still have a chance to fight in this round. Let's see if they're going to be able to do it. Both players grouped up on short at the moment. Chopper rather over on ramp, and then the rotation from long to come in from Magix. Trying to actually boost to take the peak with the op right there, hoping to maybe catch him off guard on ramp. But instead, swinging out, able to do some good damage. Saw still going to be able to drop him over towards the ramp, though. So now it's all onto Magix on long. A good opportunity for at least this bomb to get planted if they can just find one more kill. As I say that, jumping up, catching the rotation, but it's going to be Magix to finish it off. A great attempt. Saw doing everything that he could, but in the end, it's just not enough. 15 to 11 for Team Spirit. They finally found map point. I mean, it's taken them quite a while, especially considering they were up 11-0 at one point. But one more. That's all they need to close it out now. It's a best of 1, so as long as they can close it out, they get the victory. Doesn't matter how close it was. Of course, for Havu, 4 in a row for overtime, considering how they've been playing over this T side so far, definitely not impossible.
Certainly not, especially when you consider the buy that Team Spirit are bringing into this. They're limited on utility. They've got 2 SMGs. They've got a FAMAS on Mir, not the double op, which we saw yield good results in the last round. It's once again going to kind of hinge on Idis bounce to go a little ham here, because he does have the big green gun. He is the focal point of this attack, and they need him to show why they put so much faith in him as a player. It's going to be tough. Looks like a catwalk play again. They're going to take some control here. There's no one really to contest. Magix will be catching them as they come around the corner, and then Idis bounce should be able to swing back through, but the late long presence could come back in and haunt them. Just hoodie on a deagle, but still, sometimes a deagle's all you need if you've got the flank. As I say that, it's a feint. They've thrown some utility over towards catwalk, and they're not going to move off of it at all. Instead, the play seems to be coming in through mid instead, which is a pretty good setup for the Spirit side. You can see Chopper's here. Mir waiting. This is kind of the bait in. Mir is the bait. Chopper is the switch. He will find the first. It's just Hoodie, who was kind of the scout player with just the deagle in hand, but that allows Mir to swing in and punish. And now it's all going to be left to Dodo, who has the op, who is glass cannon, trying to wander through smoke, trying to find something here. And while he will take down Idis bounce, there's no way they should allow him back on towards the bomb or back on towards a bomb plant with 30 seconds on the clock to go.
Yeah, and indeed that is going to be the end of it. Finished off there by Magix, 16 to 11. A great attempt at the comeback by Havu, but I think they are going to be a little bit upset that they did fall short in the end. And the trend continues. They've only won train and MDL so far.
Only train in MDL. It is a curse. If you're Havu, veto to train. If you're anyone playing Havu, just veto train. That's all you need. Veto train, and apparently you can take the dub.
I mean, it's just fine. Though, Dust 2 is nearly as good of a map as Train is. Maybe they just feel like they start a little bit slower here on Dust 2.
They really did. I mean, we saw it. We saw why it's a good map for them, right? Those last 4 rounds on their CT side, we understood, like, basically the things that we'd been seeing them attempt in the first few rounds finally started clicking. It's like, oh, okay, that's why they kept trying this. It actually is a good idea. They just really fumbled it the first few times. So you can see the pieces of why they're a strong Dust 2 team. I agree with you. I don't think they should be afraid to pick it. Today was just not their day at all, especially in that first half.
Yeah, it seemed like the main thing that was off early on was their team play. As we said, kind of the flashes, the timings of them. It was really costing them a lot because they were getting those flashes in a couple seconds late maybe, and it was costing the life of one, if not two people every single time. So once they ironed that out, they did look a lot better rather. So I hope that we will see a bit more from them the next time that we're going to actually have them playing here in MDL. But I believe we have another game from Team Spirit coming up, so that one should be interesting.
We do. This time they're going to be taking on the Movistar Riders. We're going to be heading over to Inferno, and it shouldn't be long. It's basically as soon as Spirit connect in, and they are already on the way. So we're going to take a quick break here, folks, and then we'll be right back. You are watching the Mountain Dew League